Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You are welcome to this segment with Dr. Isa. And today we are looking at the best eating model for Ramadan. Ramadan is all about everything centered to worship Almighty Allah. And that's the most interesting part of it. But the good thing also is basically dealing with food. Although some of our Muslim brothers mistakenly to not concentrate more on food and forget about the spirituality of Ramadan. Because it involves food, timing, quantity, types. So that's where medicals comes in. To show you that Allah is so compassionate about a human being that He wants the best for you and I. And so He gave us the rules to make this life so comfortable to us. So He is very particular about food. That's why the law of haram, don't eat this. The law of halal, eat this, is there in the Quran. Those ones that says haram are basically to protect you. For instance, do not eat pork. Not because the pig committed a great sin. The Almighty Allah knows that this particular animal contains what is called tinea solium, a kind of parasite, a worm that has high resistance to heat. So when you cut the meat of pork and you boil or smoke or whatever, this particular organism do not die easily. We have had people that eat the same animal and develop a liver disease where they find this particular part inside the liver. They develop mental disease. They have this particular parasite inside the brain. They have eye problem. This particular thing enters into the eye because they live on the flesh of pig animal. So God is great. So lovely and compassionate to a human being so as not to get yourself injured with what you eat. So now Ramadan is also basically about the principle of what to eat, when to eat, how to eat. And when you understand those three things, what to eat, how to eat, and when to eat, you will live a healthy life. So Allah is very particular about being healthy. And look at what He said in Quran chapter 2, verse 172, 173. He said, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا كلوا من طيبات ما رزقناكم واشكروا لله إن كنتم إياه تعبدون إنما حرم عليكم الميتة والدم ولحم الخنزير وما أهل به لغير الله فمن اضطر غير باغ ولا عاد فلا إثم عليه إن الله غفور رحيم. These two verses is just enough to tell you. Allah says, "O you who believe, eat of things that are good." That means eat the best of food. Be grateful to Him, Allah, if only you will use the whole of your life to worship Him. So that means in food, there's a relationship between eating and worship. So Ramadan involves sahur and iftar. So the purpose of eating in Ramadan is to worship Allah. So if you eat haram, Allah will punish you. If you eat anything that injures your body, Allah will punish you. Your body is a right, it has a right on you that Allah has given you to nourish. So you eat to worship Allah. Number two, you eat to nourish the body. You eat to repair the body. You eat to gain strength and be able to perform worship to Allah. Now, Ramadan is not purposely meant to manage weight. So don't come into Ramadan with the intention that you want to manage your weight. But for non-Muslims, Christians alike that join us as Muslims, they can join us with the intention of doing Ramadan to manage their weight. It's acceptable to them. But for you, Muslim, it is not acceptable. So now for sahur, what are the kind of food you should eat in sahur? Let me give you the characteristics. You need a balanced diet in sahur. You need a food that is filling. You need a food that is slow to be digested. You need a food that is attracting. And you need a food that is nourishing. Okay, now those qualities are characteristics of food you must eat in sahur. And let us go into the world of food and look at the examples. So that means in the list of food called balanced diet, we're going to look at each of them and how you should take them in sahur. If you remember, I said balanced diet, a food that is slowly digested. So that means your carbohydrate source must be complex carbohydrates. Examples of complex carbohydrates in our society include eba, pounded yam, fufu, and the likes. These are complex carbohydrates, or akpu, the one our brothers in the East eat. These are complex carbohydrates. Their digestion is very, very slow. Before it is digested, it takes time, because the purpose of eating your sahur is to sustain your energy to long hours so as to enjoy worship and be able to do your activities. You cannot say because of fasting Ramadan you're not going to go to work. So complex carbohydrate is required early in the morning. Number two, what will you combine with this complex carbohydrate? Your protein source. Your protein source should be very rich in either meat or fish. Okay? Or you're talking of those, if you're taking something that involves egg, maybe you're taking yam and egg, you're talking of scrambled egg or omelette egg. That is a very good source for you to ensure that your early morning food is rich in terms of what you are taking in. Now, the source of your protein can be any other sources like birds, chicken, and the likes. All the guinea fowls and ostrich, all birds are also very good for you in sahur. Beyond that, what should be the source of your fiber? You need a lot of vegetable and different aspects of vegetable. Different, if you eat ugu, tomorrow should be shoko, next time should be buri, another time can be efreni, another time can be uru, and so on, regularly. And sometimes you might need to mix it with draw soup like ogbono or okra or maybe even ewedu, mixed with vegetable to deal with your complex carbohydrates in the morning. Okay, now that is for that. What of your fats and oils? Are you aware olive oil is being sold in the market? Is the only oil that is certain that the cholesterol in it is free, or coconut oil that is done naturally. Those are things that can be used to cook your early morning food, giving you a lot of source of energy. And that goes on. Now you can also take nuts and seeds, like you have so many nuts, almond nuts and all the kind of groundnut or cashew nuts. You can take all of this. They provide a lot of fats for you that sustain a lot of energy in you during the day. Then number 5 is hydration. Hydration means that you need to sustain water content in your body. And this, I want you to listen carefully. You've been fasting, you've been eating. But you know around 12 to 2 o'clock you are tired. You are worn out because of the content, the type of food you ate in sahur. So your hydration source is water. But do you know that you can do something better than water? Now, when you take ordinary water, it's good. I can assure you it's good. But when you pee 2-3 times before 2 p.m., beware, all the water you drank in sahur are gone. You realize that after 2, you can really pee again until after you do iftar, because there's no more water in your body. Now, tiredness comes in, weakness comes in. So what you can do in that morning hour is prepare soup. Soup. You know, soup is also water. It has pepper, it has all sorts of things. Drink plenty soup. When you drink plenty soup in sahur, do you know what it means? You have enough water that is rich, and that cannot go out of your body too easily. This is very a catch point for you in terms of maintaining hydration. Now, other sources of maintaining hydration also is available. You can take any other thing that's rich in maybe water. I'll come to that later. And finally, beware. Avoid sweet things in sahur. You want to take cake, you take things that are very sweet. Or fried plantain, or maybe ripe plantain, you're on your own. By 12 o'clock, you're going to sleep in the mosque as a godly person, not knowing that it is hunger that's wiring your life. So at this level, that is what you can do for sahur. Now, for iftar. So the time has come now to break the fast. In breaking fast, don't forget again, the purpose is you need the characteristics of this food. One, it must be rich in content. Two, easy to digest. In sahur is difficult to digest or longer to digest. This one, easy to digest. Three, fast to be absorbed. Listen carefully. Fast to be absorbed. And four, it's also nourishing. And five is gassy. That means it has a lot of gas. So, example of such food, it must be hydrating, it must be rich, it must be attractive, it must be easy to digest, it must be fast to be absorbed. If you have all that, it means the first thing recommended by the Holy Prophet Muhammad to break fast is what? Date. Do you know that date as a means of breaking fasting is not just spiritual recommendation? It's a medical recommendation. It's been found that in every fruit, they all contain sugars. And sugars that exist in this world are being categorized into different classes. You have alcohol sugars. You have acid sugars. You have sour sugars. You have simple sugars. You have complex sugars. You have disaccharide sugars, and so on. So now simple sugars is only sugar source that is easy for the body to absorb easily. And because it's glycemic index, that means the sugar in this particular food is easy for the body to digest, to absorb, and assimilate. And everywhere in research conducted several times, the sugar in dates is been found to be the best sugar that is absorbed fastest in the body. So you can see the reason why the proverb recommend date is not just spiritual reason, it's for medical reason. So immediately you take the dates, the sugar gets to your brain, the brain doesn't get tired very fast, and you feel relaxed, and the brain gets renourished, and you're okay. So, and he said when there's no date, what do you do next? Water. So it's after any of these two. You can take your watermelon, you can take your pawpaw, you can take your mango, whatever you want to take as fruit. So that also can be nourishing. Outside this, take any liquid diet. Listen to me carefully. Now it can be sweetened liquid diet. For example, you take pap, you take custard, you take tapioca, you take kunu, you take cocoa, you take all those things. They are acceptable because they contain liquid diet, and that goes on and on. So in your iftar, you do that. And after that, you do your maghrib. After maghrib, you want to take something solid. Don't take too much solid. Take your rice, stew, little. Or you can take your maybe fried plantain then and some other things, a little. And then you go for your Isha. So by the time you have done that, you have succeeded in having the best meal for Ramadan. So our topic is still remain the best meal model for Ramadan, both sahur and iftar. So you can do better if you understand this as a matter of way to ensure your energy is sustained throughout the day. And by the end of Ramadan, you look fresh because you're eating right. Until we come your way again, wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.